If there's one thing that reveals more about us than even our own mirror, do you know what it is? It isn't our shoes, and it isn't the clothes we wear. It's the handbag we choose to carry every single day. So, what story is your handbag telling? Is it a story of confidence, of purpose, and of grace? Or is it a story of burden, of rush, and of the days we sometimes forget who we are? Every scuff, every item tucked inside, from a lipstick to a scribbled note, speaks to how we are living our lives right now. Because a handbag is never just a handbag. It's a silent statement about the woman we have become. In our conversation today, we aren't going to look for an expensive bag. We're going to uncover the secret to a truly valuable one. The kind that reflects the wisdom of this chapter in our lives. Because after 60, we no longer choose a handbag to impress. We choose it to express. So, think of this as a quiet chat over a cup of tea, where we'll explore the foundation of a truly authentic style, one that doesn't start in a store, but from deep within ourselves. Before we dive into the details of handbags, I want us to pause for just a moment to talk about something that's very close to my heart. Elegance after 60. There's a quiet shift that happens inside us at this stage of life. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Years ago, maybe we bought a bag because we wanted others to see it, to notice, to approve, to say, "Oh, that's so chic." We wondered if it was trendy enough, or if it matched the season. But now, things feel different. We choose a bag because it makes us feel beautiful when we look in the mirror. Because it fits who we are, not who we're trying to be. And that, my friends, is the true essence of elegance at this age. It no longer comes from the world's approval. It rises from a calm satisfaction deep within. From that place of peace, everything we choose begins to change. Even a handbag becomes part of our story, a reflection of the woman we've become. So, let's begin this journey together. A gentle exploration of beauty, confidence, and the quiet power that comes with time. Let's begin with the foundation of all confident style. Something we often overlook, but has the power to shape our entire presence. Structure. Isn't it funny how a handbag with a clean, defined shape can make you stand a little taller, walk a little more deliberately? It's like a quiet physical reminder of our own inner strength. A structured bag isn't just about looking tidy. It's a silent statement about poise, reflecting how, after all these years, we've finally learned how to stand tall on our own 2 feet. I saw this happen with my dear friend Carol. After retiring, she grew accustomed to the comfortable ease of soft, shapeless totes. But for her 65th birthday, her daughter gave her a classic boxy leather handbag. At first, she hesitated. But when she carried it to our next get-together, we all saw the shift. It wasn't just that she looked more chic, it was the way she moved. It was as if she had reclaimed a certain grace in her own stride. She even told me later, "When I'm holding something so orderly and put together, I feel more orderly and put together myself." And it turns out, we're not alone in feeling this way. A recent AARP survey confirmed that over 70% of women our age feel more confident carrying a bag with a clear structure. Perhaps it's because it mirrors how we've learned to organize our lives, with intention, with strength, and without any fuss. At this stage in our lives, I don't think we need anything to prove our strength. We've lived through enough to know it's there. But a structured bag isn't for showing off. It's a quiet reminder to ourselves that says, "I've learned to find my balance, in fashion and in life." So, once we have that beautiful, strong framework for our style, it's time to paint it with the colors of wisdom, the shades that will never let you down. The legendary Coco Chanel once said, "Simplicity is the keynote of all true elegance." And I believe we understand that sentiment more deeply now than ever before. We've lived through enough complexity to know that the most simple things are often the most profound. It's why those timeless, neutral colors, a classic black, a rich brown, a deep navy, a warm cream, are such trusted companions. But a handbag, in a way, is also a woman's private domain. It holds our own little world, from our reading glasses and favorite lipstick to our smallest, most precious memories. So the color inside the bag can reflect the part of our soul we don't always show the world. And this brings me to a little secret I absolutely adore: the secret joy. On the outside, your bag can be the epitome of calm and grace. But on the inside, a pop of crimson, a cheerful floral print, a brilliant cobalt blue. Just like us. Because who says a woman in her 60s can't have a few delightful secrets? I have a classic navy blue tote myself, very proper on the outside. But every time I open it, I'm greeted by a lining that looks like a burst of a summer garden. That little moment of joy is just for me. It's my own private wink to myself throughout the day. But you know, true elegance isn't just about what people see on the outside. It's in the things only we can feel. The way the leather feels beneath our fingertips. The quiet, satisfying click of the clasp. And that, my friends, is where we begin to speak the language of quality, the voice of true sophistication. This language isn't spoken in loud logos or flashy hardware. It's spoken in the quiet confidence of what I like to call silent luxury. At our age, we've learned that being noticed isn't the same as being admired. Silent luxury isn't just a matter of taste. It's a matter of courage. It's the courage to choose a handbag with no visible brand, no glittering chains, just a beautifully crafted, understated clasp. It's the courage to have faith in your own eye for quality, rather than relying on the validation of a famous name. The luxury industry calls this quiet luxury. But I believe it's a philosophy women like us have been living by for years. A recent report from the business of fashion noted that mature customers are increasingly prioritizing craftsmanship and brand story over logo recognition. In fact, that same report showed that over 68% of women over 55 feel that a handmade item carries more personal meaning than a mass-produced luxury good. The ones who are meant to will understand. The ones who don't, won't. And that, right there, is true confidence. It's like wearing an old cashmere sweater that fits you perfectly. It doesn't need anyone else's approval, because it just feels like you. As the great Giorgio Armani once said, "Elegance is not about being noticed, it's about being remembered." And I believe, at this age, we understand that more deeply than anyone. And then, with the passage of time, what remains is not newness, but authenticity. This leads us to a deeper appreciation for materials, the kind that age right alongside us, with grace. The scuffs, the subtle darkening of the leather where your hand always rests. These are not flaws. Let's call them what they truly are, the beautiful scars of time. Like the laugh lines around our eyes, they aren't signs of decay. They are a map of a life fully lived, a story of our journeys and our joys. A tiny scratch on your bag might make you smile, remembering that trip to Paris when you quickly grabbed your granddaughter's hand to cross the street. You see, our memories don't just live in our minds. Sometimes, They live in the things we carry. There's a faint mark on my favorite leather bag from a drop of coffee I spilled on a beautiful autumn morning in Florence. Every time I see it, I don't see a mistake. I see that entire wonderful morning come back to life. The great poet Leonard Cohen once wrote, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." Those beautiful scars on our handbags are the same. They are the places where our memories and our love get to shine through. Perhaps that's why the things we cherish most seem to gain more soul as they age. Because they've been touched, lived in, and loved. We begin to realize that true beauty isn't found in perfection, but in connection, in the way something grows with us. And when a handbag holds our courage and our memories, it's no longer just an accessory. It becomes a part of our life. But to be a true companion, it must meet one more crucial requirement. Because a handbag, just like us, only truly shines when it is beautiful, useful, and an effortless part of our everyday lives. And that is what we call wisdom in action. True elegance, at this chapter of our lives, is simply comfort. As the designer Michael Kors once said, true luxury is being comfortable in your own life. And I think that rings truer now than ever. Beauty must serve your life, not the other way around. A handbag, no matter how beautiful, ceases to be a joy the moment it gives you an aching shoulder or a moment of worry. And so, there are 3 practical things I always look for. The first is weight. Before I put a single thing inside, I lift the bag. If it already feels heavy, I put it right back down. Haven't we all carried enough heavy burdens in our lives? According to a 2023 AARP survey, over 70% of women over 60 prefer handbags that weigh under 2 pounds because, as they say, lightness is a form of happiness. The second is the magic of a smart strap. I am a devoted fan of the crossbody bag, a lightweight feel, a comfortable strap, a secure zipper. These aren't just features. This is freedom. The freedom to hold the hand of someone you love, to lift a grandchild into your arms, or to simply hold a warm cup of coffee on a chilly day. And finally, there's peace of mind. A sturdy zipper doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your serenity. A study by the Travel Goods Association found that 62% of women over 55 report feeling more secure and less worried when carrying a bag with a zipper rather than an open tote. This makes me think of the wonderful story of a woman named Margaret. At 68, after her husband passed away, she decided to take the trip to Italy she had always dreamed of, by herself. Instead of a fancy designer bag, she spent her time searching for the perfect handmade leather crossbody, lightweight, with secure compartments, and a perfect fit. I can still picture her in the photos she sent back, her silver hair shining in the Italian sun, that little bag across her shoulder, and a smile as soft as the breeze. That bag freed her hands to take a beautiful photograph, to steady herself on an ancient cobblestone step, and perhaps most importantly, to hold her own hand on that solo adventure. In that moment, the beauty wasn't in the handbag, but in the woman who carried it. That wasn't just convenience, that was independence. And that's when you realize, when a handbag helps you live your life more easily, more fully, it's no longer an accessory, it becomes a companion. Because sometimes, the simplest things are the ones that walk with us through our most memorable moments. And once a bag has earned its place as a trusted companion, something truly magical happens. It begins to absorb our stories, and slowly, it becomes a part of our soul. And that is when the story of the soul of the bag truly begins, where time, love, and memory all come together. And that is when the story of the soul of the bag truly begins, where time, love, and memory all come together. This final chapter is the most important one of all, because it's what transforms a beautiful handbag into a priceless treasure. It's not an element you can buy. It has to be lived and felt and earned over time. It is legacy. Have you ever opened an old box and a familiar scent brought a flood of memories back to you? When the morning light catches the worn leather of an old handbag, every scuff and mark glows like a map of memories, silent but never forgotten. These bags become little time machines, holding not just our tangible things, but our intangible feelings. We don't just see them, we experience them with all of our senses. To touch, to hear, to smell, and to feel with your heart. That is what gives an inanimate object a soul. When you open your mother's old handbag, doesn't the faint scent of her favorite perfume, mingled with the soft smell of aged leather, take you right back to the days when you could still hear the sound of her heels clicking down the hallway? The great writer Marcel Proust once wrote about how a simple cookie could bring his entire childhood rushing back. I believe that our most cherished personal items, like a handbag, hold that same kind of magic. A 2020 study from the University of Southampton found that 87% of participants said that touching objects tied to their memories helped them feel more serene and purposeful. You see, memory doesn't just help us look back, it helps us move forward. I have a small clutch that belonged to my grandmother from the 1950s. It's no longer in fashion, and the silk lining is a little frayed. But when I run my fingers over the tarnished metal clasp, I can almost feel her excitement as she got ready for a dance. It's more than just a purse. It's a piece of her life that I am blessed to hold. When I hold it, I feel as if I'm holding a piece of the energy of the women who came before me, the ones who paved the way, who lived, who loved, and who left their mark on me. Its value isn't in what it's made of, but in the life of the extraordinary woman it witnessed. It is a legacy of love. The designer Ralph Lauren once said, "Fashion is over quickly, style is forever, but memory is what makes it all immortal." Think about this. The handbag you're carrying today, what stories is it witnessing? Is it with you during happy lunches with friends, on trips to visit your grandchildren, during quiet moments alone with a good book? If your daughter were to open that bag one day, what story would you want it to tell her? A story of joy, of strength, or of love? Because in the end, we don't just keep things, we keep our own spirit within them. And perhaps every one of us will have a handbag that our children and grandchildren will want to keep. Not because it was expensive, but because it journeyed through a life with us. And that, my friends, is the most beautiful answer of all. Because a woman's true elegance isn't found in what she owns, but in the loving mark she leaves on everything she touches. So here we are. After all the talk about style, texture, and colors, the truth is the perfect bag doesn't live in any store. It lives in you, in your choices, in the stories you carry every single day. Structure gives you strength. Color adds grace. Texture holds memories. And the story behind it, that's what makes you timeless. Together, they don't just make a bag. They make your bag, a reflection of the woman you've become. Before we say goodbye, let me ask you something. If you could keep only one bag for the rest of your life, which one would it be? And what beautiful memory hides inside it? I'd truly love to read your story in the comments below. Because it's these little memories, the laughter, the travels, the love, that connect all of us across time and generations. Thank you, my friend, for sharing this quiet moment with me today. If you saw a piece of yourself in these stories, I'd be so happy if you'd stay. Just hit subscribe so we can keep walking this beautiful journey together. Because I believe there are still so many lovely things left to share. About style, about time, and about the kind of confidence that only grows with age. Until next time, carry your story gracefully.